Welcome to the Parenting Journey with Blessing. Today we have a special guest in the house that will be joining me to share about healthy eating for our children. We know our children love to eat unhealthy. Let me put it that way. At least most of our children, not all children, because of course we have the picky eaters and we have some children that do not like food at all. So we're going to be talking about this set of children today. So I want to talk about healthy eating because it's really important. It's very, very important that our children eat healthy, grow healthy, and live healthy. So Wumitosin Ojuri will be joining me today, and she's a registered nurse, and I also say she's a nutritionist. So she has books that she has written about feeding children, having children eat healthy, and she's going to join us today to share. And she also has a platform, a motherhood platform on Instagram, which is called Exceptionalmums. So you want to follow her when we are done today. So I'm going to invite her to join us so we can get into what we have to do today. Yes, I will.
Hi.
Hello, sister.
Good evening.
You know, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Yes. Good to see you. It's been a while, right?
Thank you. Yes, it has.
We say
It
more
has.
than we
Thanks.
see. Everything is phone. When we see, it's so brief.
Right.
So thank you for joining, Wumi. Thank you for accepting to come today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We are here today. Okay. So so introduce yourself very, very briefly. Introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. I think you already introduced me. Well, my name is.
You're a mother of two. I totally didn't say you're a mother of two. I didn't see like you still have the very important people in your life.
Right. So my name is Wumitosin Ojuri, and I'm a registered nurse. I hold a bachelor's degree in nursing. I'm also a registered public health nurse, and I hold a master's degree in nursing also, with my major being community public health. And I'm a mother to quite a number of children, but only two sleep under my roof, and I'm seriously praying and working hard that situation does not change, you know.
Interesting.
So basically, I think I'm an author. I've written about 7 books, and I also publish books for people. And yes, I
publish my book. Yes, she's my publisher. She's my mentor.
Your books.
She's my coach. She's everything.
I don't know about that mentorship.
I told you. Secret, I don't
know. So
don't worry.
So yeah, and I also run Exceptionalmums. It's mainly a public health advocacy for mothers to be. It's a platform whereby we bring to the fore, pertinent issues that easily get swept under the carpet and things like that. So yeah, basically that's what I do. That's who I am. Thank you for having me once more.
Thank you for joining. Thank you. Okay, so children are on holidays now. It's a very short holiday, actually. It's a short holiday, and we know that children love to eat during holidays. I don't know that thing that makes them to say, I want to eat, I want to. They just wanting to eat. But when you're bringing food, so there was something that happened one day to my children. They said they were hungry, and I gave them eba, and they were like, "No, mom, we don't want eba. It's snack." I said, "Snack? What is snack? Go and eat this eba." And I said, "No, mom, it's not. You don't understand. Our tummy does not want food. It wants snack." So, and I realized that they don't like, most children do not like eating healthy. I've done well with myself, with my boys, so they eat. So we have timetable. They eat all the amala, the eba, the pounded yam, the rice, and all that. But I wanted to just share with us today, what is healthy eating? what is healthy eating when it comes to children? How do we really say, okay, this is what healthy? Just give a little definition of what healthy eating is.
Okay, so basically, I will go by the 80-20 rule. With children, you really cannot take away junks from them 100%.
Okay, so
It's
you've
almost
answered one of my
impossible.
questions. I plan to ask that. Can you take it out?
It's almost impossible. You can walk around it, but you almost cannot take it away completely. One of the reasons is that you don't want them to feel maybe left out, or those things now become very important to them, to the point that, oh, they just want to have a feel of it, or and then people begin to steal and things like that. But so typically I go with the 80-20 rule. If 80% of what your children are taking is healthy fruits, vegetables, the regular food, and then once in a while when you throw in some snacks, some sugar, some pizza, and all of this in between, then it's okay. So sometimes they can indulge, but the 80% of whatever it is that they are taking must be for body building, nourishing, containing all the adequate nutrients that is needed for their body building, growth and development, and all of that, because you don't want to end up with an obese child who is lacking in nutrients, and things like that. So the 80-20 rule is one thing that we should not forget, because especially with younger children, that maybe you cannot even really reason with them that, oh, you can't have candy, or you can't always have ice cream, So the 80-20 rule, you are certain that, oh, okay, this child is getting the required nutrients. You eat vegetables at least a certain number of times in a week. Your fruits are there, and things like that. So once in a while, when they get to have some of these things, then it's negligible, it's okay, and it's not going to really harm them. So typically that's what the whole concept about healthy eating is all about. Not that, oh, they don't ever eat cake, they don't ever take drinks and things like that.
So what I'm getting from your definition now is like, healthy eating is that food that helps to build their brain, the development, their physical, everything.
Yes, immunity, yes.
Okay, so now talking about how we can't knock off junk. I remember there was a time my first prince, non-experienced mom, and I'm not personally, I don't take sweets, I don't like sugary stuff. So I love salty things. And I remember I left my son at home that day with his lesson teacher. So I was just going across to buy something. And as I was leaving, she said, Mommy, buy sweets when you're coming. That was the lesson teacher. She said, buy sweets when you're coming. For the first time, I realized I never gave my son sweets to lick.
Sweet.
Like, it never came from me. So as I was going, and she said, and it kept ringing a bell in my ears, like, okay, I should buy sweets when I'm coming. Oh, so have I been a bad mom for not even saying take sweets? Because I actually bought the sweets that day when I was coming back. I bought it because I was like, okay. But when they started taking it and it was drooling. So I think it's that messy aspect that I don't even want trouble. So I just cut off some things. But thank you for letting us know that it's not taking everything out completely. So now, I think you've answered that a little bit. Is there really a good age for children that we focus on when children eat certain food? Is there a particular age that we must not miss because it's good for their brain development, it's good for their physical development? Is there a time we must not miss healthy eating in our children's life?
Oh yeah, definitely. So actually from the word go, like from when you have the children, starting from even you yourself, breastfeeding and all of that, because in the first 6 months of life, the child depends primarily on the mother, for sustenance, that's for feeding and things like that. And in the situation whereby maybe the mother cannot breastfeed and all of that, then we say, oh, okay, you give infant formula, and even that in itself already has the nutrients that child needs to thrive, to survive for that period of time. And then at 6 months, you start to introduce solids to the child in form of purees, you know, little things here and there, the amala, newedu, and things like that. So yes, from the word go, from the beginning, when you are breastfeeding, or even when you start to expect this child, you are already preparing your own self. You know, in pregnancy, you are advised to even eat clean, to eat healthy, you know. So in pregnancy, you know, women are advised to eat clean, you know, to cut down on, or in fact completely stop alcohol, smoking, and all of these habits and all of that. Why? Because you are preparing. First of all, you are carrying a life, and you know, you don't want to pose any risk to this child. And then you are also you know, that child is depending on you for their nutrition primarily. So, and then at 6 months, you are introducing solids, but you are also still breastfeeding. So this 6 months mark is actually very important. This is the time where you know, the child's preferences when it comes to food is being formed. And it's important that you do not miss it at this point. So at this point, you begin to do all of the groundwork, you know. So I've seen people say, oh, after breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months, then they now begin to introduce formula, or, you know, and all of that. And I'm like, why? At 6 months, your child can eat everything you are eating. It is just the form that is different. It's just the form in which that food will be served, you know, such that it doesn't pose any choking hazard. Yes, the texture. So it doesn't pose any choking hazard. It's easy for the child to digest, you know, to take in, to digest, and all of that. So you give banana, for example. You can mash that banana, add a little bit of breast milk, and feed the child. Sweet potato, you know, amala and ewedu. You debone fish, Titus fish, you know, put it inside the amala, and you give it to the child. As long as the child can sit upright and, you know, has the capacity to swallow and all of that. So whatever it is that you are eating at that point, your vegetable, your and all of that. So you make purees for this child, watermelon with banana, with mango, with anything at all. You blend it, and then you feed the child just like you are feeding them with pap and all that. So it is at this point that you start. And because the earlier you start, the better it is for you. Imagine you are just trying to tame a 16-year-old, for example, who has been eating junks all his life or all her life. It becomes a little bit difficult, you know, compared to when this has been. And even at that, it's not even as if it's easy, because so I did this with my children, and I also, you know, encourage other mothers, other parents and all that. But I found out that as my children are growing older and they become more vocal and they know their rights, you know, so to speak, they begin to demand certain things that, no, I don't want. And you're like, as a baby, you liked this, you had this. So that child is beginning to
you know, I think for you, like, you have a good experience with your children eating. You know, I always tell you that you have a good experience. Personally, my first prince showed me pepe. Like, after 6 months, he didn't want to eat any other thing. And in my head, I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? What is the meaning of this? Like, he did not want anything, only breast milk. That was 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. I was frustrated. So, you know, so we have picky eaters. What would that parent now do that that child does not want to eat anything, or your child has even refused breast milk at 5 months? You know, we have those children too that say, breast milk, I don't want you. And the parents start getting frustrated. What do I do? So how do you help parents that have children that are picky eaters from this age, from 6 months?
Okay, so I think the first thing would be to be patient. You cannot actually label a 6-month-old a picky eater if we're being realistic.
No, it's
because
still very early.
Yes, it's too early, because according to research, you know, you must give a particular food to a child at least 20 times for that child to get accustomed. Yes, for the child to get accustomed to that meal. So most times, and another thing is that parents have this ambiguous expectation. You are introducing banana to a child for the first time, and then you make a big bowl, you know, and you are anticipating that, oh, the child has never taken banana before. This is a child that is coming from ordinary breast milk to now taking banana for the first time. So what you should do is you gradually move from known to unknown, you know. So what that means is that you see that banana, just cut a little out of it, mash it, add a little breast milk. So that breast milk is what the child is familiar with. So that's still giving him a sense of, oh, okay. And then, you know, gradually, it's a gradual process. So even at 7 months, it may not be finishing one whole banana. It doesn't mean that he's a picky eater. It doesn't mean that, oh, he's not going to take. But most times when people just do it once or twice, I'm done. You see, I have a friend say, you see, all this
patience. We're not patient.
Exactly. Most times we're not patient enough. I have a friend who says, look, I am done. I gave her banana with kidney today. She did not take. I am done, Mumi. There's nothing you can tell me. I am done with that child. I'm not doing it again. I'm like, how many times have you given this banana? Let's even start with that. How many times have you done it? I don't care. I'm done. So it takes a lot of patience. It also takes a lot of serving that food in different forms. So let's talk about even older children now. You have given banana and smoothie. This child does not like it, but can eat the banana just whole like that. For some children, it is that they don't want to even see the banana, or they don't want to see onions. Then you can blend it. If you blend it, you know, you can blend it and hide it, you know, inside the food. One of my child does not eat carrots, doesn't like to eat carrot. What do? I make stir fry. The stir fry has a lot of carrots. And as a matter of fact, steamed carrots are even healthier than, yes, are even healthier than raw carrots. Again, I make muffins, carrot muffins. I just grate carrots and put it inside. And you say you don't like carrots, but you like muffins. But there's carrot inside the muffin that you are eating, you know. And another thing, most importantly, is that I usually would say, because some parents will say, look, sincerely, I have tried everything. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what else to do. I usually would say, pray about it. Pray about it, because prayer changes things. You know, when all of your strategies, everything you've read in the books, everything that you have listened to does not seem to be working, and this child, you know, is giving you concern and all that. Most importantly, quality over quantity. And that's what I was also saying, that we tend to just get worried. Quality over quantity. It's not about, oh, how much food that this child has eaten, but what is in what the child has eaten. That's the most important thing. It's not so much about quantity, rather the quality, you know, of what it is. That there are 1,001 ways to serve potato. There are different ways to serve egg. If a child is not eating boiled egg, but the child can eat fried egg, no problem. It's not eating, you know, there are just different ways. So we also will need to be creative around it and be very patient, because sometimes we just get so angry. And then, you know, there's cane in one hand and you're telling the child, eat. And this child is under duress. You know, the child is, at the end of the day, your goal is for your child to have a healthy relationship with food. So you don't want to ruin that because you are just, and all of these things that I'm saying, I'm not saying that they are easy. It's actually not easy, because there are sometimes that you will just be frustrated. Just tonight, my older toddler, I had to sit down with her, you know, and this is somebody that one, and she just wants to take everything that is junks. And this was a child that started off on vegetables and from 6 months. So she just wants to take give me mommy. She's talking to me about ice cream vending machines now, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about. You know, so tonight I sat down with her. Okay, let's eat this yam and egg. And she went, oh, I want water. I want to use the toilet. Go and do everything you want to do, but you will come back. And I wasn't raising my voice, although that doesn't happen every day. Sometimes I, you know, but I wasn't raising my voice. It was just me holding my ground and saying, eat this food. And after a while, when I saw that, okay, she had eaten a good part of it, So I said, okay, let's just finish the egg. You can leave the yam, you know. So that works too, you know, just finding a balance and being patient. And then quality over quantity.
Yeah. So we're going to remember that quality over quantity. So even if your child takes very little, but it's healthy food, you're still better off than your child taking so much of junk.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping with that. Now, are there particular foods, like can you give an example of foods that help to build a child's brain? Are there foods that you can say, okay, example, maybe it's carrot or it's banana, you know, are there foods that we need to concentrate on so that when we are making our timetable, we are putting those food, not just anything in on the table, on the menu rather.
Okay, so to answer that, I'm not going to say a particular food so that we don't now concentrate on that, you know. And what we should really aim at is all the classes of food, balanced nutrition. Balanced nutrition, that's the most important thing. So food that has all classes of food that is nutritious, you know, to the body. So one thing I usually advocate for is bento plating. You know, all these plates that has portioning and bento, they call it bento plates, bento plating. So you can have rice in one corner, you have beans in the other corner, there's maybe plantain in one corner, and then there's fish at the in another corner of the plate. So you have given it to this child. Now, at the end of the day, the goal really is not that the child must finish everything. It is that you can actually pick a little out of all of this. And at the end of the day, you have taken a balanced meal because, you know, the different classes of food is there. And then maybe in the course of the day too, you are giving fruits as snack. You are offering fruits
across every child, like it cuts across every child.
All ages, even adults, you know, you are eating rice, there's a little bit of steamed vegetable by the rice, there's fish there, you know, there's maybe you are pairing your rice with moi moi, for instance, or you are even offering pancake to your child. But then there are sliced bananas, you have red grapes, you have apple, you know. Even as a snack, you know, sometimes I offer my children apples with granuts and cashew nuts, you know, and things like that. I actually have different videos on YouTube that detail some of these things that I'm talking about, and you'll be able to see some of those plating and all that. So the different classes of food. So either as a major meal or as the snack for the day or something, that child is constantly getting all, you may not get all the classes of food in one meal, but in the course of the day, everything that child has taken, they has taken fruits and vegetables, fat and oil, you know, carbohydrate is there, protein is there, you know, and all of that. And at the end of the day, a combination of all of these things is actually for body building, for, you know, brain development, immunity, immune boosting, and all of that. And you are okay, you know, that child is fine at the end of the day. So it's more important to focus on all the classes of food. So you are pairing some food with fruits, you know, and things like that. You are offering even egg as snack. Give them chicken, you know, let them snack on it. I know that, yes, the economy is one kind, but, you know, God will continue to provide and things like that.
You know, that's really a lot. And I understand how we should encourage our children to do healthy eating. And recently, so for a long time, my princes did not like fruits. Strangely, they were not interested. Even if you buy juice for them or I blend, and they're like, Mom, I don't want, and they want all the Ribena, all those things, you know. And then they don't want. So, but all of a sudden now they're interested in apples, banana, pineapple. You know, they're asking for it. And I go to the market, I want to buy one apple, and they're telling me, $2.50. I said, what's happening here? Let's go back to our biscuits.
But even the biscuit is no longer cheap.
I'm really tempted to say, hey,
even
guys,
the biscuit is not cheap too.
Get wafers and go to school. And then, Mom, I want apple. So maybe you start feeling guilty that you want apple. Do you know how much apple?
Please.
So, you know, I understand that part of, yes, the economy is another thing, but of course, we still can still find a way around it somehow.
Around it,
Can still find a
yes,
way around
yes.
it. Now, is there something called, can you actually say a child likes food too much? Is there anything like that, that this child likes to eat too much? This child does not have self-control. Is there anything like that? At what point do you say this child likes food that is too much? Is there anything like that?
Okay, so I would say
That's
depending
like
on the
growing
child's
children now, maybe growing
age.
children. Because, you know, I know there's some certain ages, like when they're getting into teenagers, the guys especially tend to eat more and all that. So at what point do you want to label that, okay, my child likes food? That in this one doesn't play with food.
But is there a problem if a child likes food? I don't see the
You know,
problem.
so where it can be a problem, okay, so we're African parents, right? And you go out and your child keeps taking food and is asking for more in practice, for example.
Yeah,
And people are like, yes,
well,
it's not filled up. Let him have kilo but not filled up. Like, please don't
and
even
it becomes an
tell me that.
embarrassing situation.
What's that? So, you know, I'm trying to say, okay, is it that at that point you're being embarrassed as a parent because, hey, you this child, you want to disgrace me or something? Or the child is not having self-control, or the child is truly not filled up. You know, I've seen children eat and you know that at this point you should be good. And you're like, I'm not good. You're like, you're not good. Are there worms inside eating up the food? So that's what I was asking.
So,
Okay.
well,
Excuse me.
so, right, sorry about that. So really, just like we have established that it depends on, you know, the age or the stage of that child. For toddlers, those ones, they can eat round the clock because they have a lot of energy to expend. They are just all over the place. So they are constantly hungry, nibbling on things and all of that. They actually don't even care how those things get there, as long as it's available for them to just nibble on. But when our children start getting older, that you expect that, okay, by now you should have a bit of common sense, self-awareness, you know, and self-restraint and responsibility. Then we need to let them know and help them manage their appetite, because truthfully, just like you said, food can become a problem, you know. Food addiction in later in life. You know, as much as, yes, oh, we want to raise children that love food, and that's why I said in the beginning that a healthy relationship with food. We want our children to have a healthy relationship with food. So before it gets to this point of, oh, okay, this child is now going outside now and behaving as if we don't have food in the house. I have never fed him before, you know.
Because, you know,
So
when growing up, I had a friend that they went out when they just finished eating, and they went out and they got there and their mom said they were not going to eat. And they were looking at their mom like, Mom, we will still eat. And she allowed them eat. And they got back home. And she cooked a pot of rice and said they should start eating. Rice is your problem. Start eating. And they started eating. And they started crying. And she said they must finish that pot of rice. You know, and they were crying and eating. And to date, she doesn't eat. Like, that experience was very, very traumatic for her.
Traumatic, yeah.
Since that day, it is bye-bye. So I know that, you know, growing up, our parents, the old generation, they used to do all those funny things. So just stop that nonsense, like, you know. But, you know, our parents were not being fair growing up. Let's be honest. Like, you go out and they're telling you that 4 of you will share a bottle of Coke. How about now? You know. So
really, we need to, you know, start to curtail them. Even with my toddler. So I think there was one night recently I was putting the children to sleep, and then my older toddler was like, oh, Mommy, I'm so hungry. I'm really very hungry. I'm like, you so hungry.
You knew what
really very hungry. By what time? This was a child that at bedtime I still fed her because she was playing around her food at dinner time. So I said, you know what? Sleep early so that you can wake up early, and then you have breakfast early. So good night, you know. So those are some of the ways that we can begin to curb some things and make them know that, oh, okay, because sometimes, truthfully, they just want to eat for leisure, not that they are hungry. There's also that. Just want to keep eating.
So that should holidays. Like, why do children love to eat a lot during holidays? What's the eating
Well,
about?
I think it's just okay. So that was what I was going to say. I think it's just like adults. Sometimes you're just lazing about and you're just idle and you're going, back and forth. You're throwing things in your mouth. And all of that. So the holiday period affords them the opportunity to have, a lot of time in their hands. So one way with which we can help them is to help them structure, their day-to-day activities, and fill it with activities for them. So there's a time that they do outdoor activities. There's a time for breakfast. There's a time for midday snack. So, okay, so my children also are on this type of routine. So our midday snack is usually around 11. So when it's 10 o'clock, you're asking me for snack. When you have just 8 a.m. or something, I tell you to wait a little bit. And if, it's getting to the point whereby we want it like that, let's go outside. Let's go and run around and play, So there are different activities there should be different activities to fill their day, when it's time to play board games, when it's time for outside activities, when it's time for compulsory siesta, whereby everybody must have siesta in this house, that you are feeling sleepy or not.
Okay, that one in the long in
my house. So as much as possible, we help them to fill up their days with different activities, arts and crafts, but sometimes even we ourselves, we have our issues and we're just tired. That anything you like. I saw an Instagram post where the woman said her daughter asked for snack. She said yes. Asked for a drink. She said yes. The woman said yes. Said daughter, say, why are you nice today? She said, this one does not know that I'm picking my battles. I don't want problem. I don't want any stress. That's why anything you want to do, just do. So I have those moments too that my children were like, hey, I want muffin. Go and take it. I want another one. Go ahead and take it. And maybe what I have in mind is that I know that the muffin is just 6. So finish it in one day. The next 2 weeks, there's no muffin. So no problem. Just continue to do whatever it is that you like. So yes, the holiday period affords them the opportunity to just, I don't know, they're just idle. Maybe they are bored and they just want to keep on snacking and just continue to enjoy themselves and things like that. So yes, normal. And we are the ones who will now help them structure, especially with children who are older, and you can reason with them that, oh, okay, so you've had snack now. The next meal for the day is maybe lunch, and all that. Another thing we can also do is perhaps make their plate a little bit fuller than it normally would be. Okay. Such that, so that they get filled. And then there are also some meals that are quite heavy that you can give to children, you can give to them that will fill them up for a while, such that they are not coming, back and forth and saying, yes, a longer period of time, so that they are not coming back to say, oh, I'm hungry, or this and that. So,
wow, interesting. Thank you to all those who have joined. Thank you. Please, if you have questions, you're free to type out your questions for me, because we'll be rounding up very, very soon. Okay. So at what point should a parent be worried about a child's weight, a child's size? At what point should a parent intervene and say, okay, it's not just being chubby, she's not just a chubby child, but we have to check this. At what point?
Okay, so typically if your child is not feeding off junks, and that's just what the child is feeding on, there's really, in quotes, no need to worry about obesity and things like that. But when there is a severe deviation from normal, then you know that, oh, okay, this has to be taken very seriously. So if, for example, a 1-year-old is weighing 20 kg, you know that's not right. you know, and that's a deviation, a serious deviation from the norm. It's not even just a slight deviation now, you know, a serious deviation, and we don't even want to wait until we get to that point. And that's why we are saying that it's even important to catch them early, you know, to begin the work as soon as possible, and we don't just leave them off, you know. And that's why information is very important. I know I've seen people who give Capri Sun, Hollandia yogurt to, that's criminal. That's that's criminal.
Don't let them come for you.
They should come. They should come. But what has to be said has to be said. Under no circumstance, in fact, a child that is less than 2 years old has no business with processed sugar in their meals.
Yeah, because I remember when I had my children breastfeeding time, like trying to win them off. I started hearing people give their children bobo drink. Then I don't even say bobo anymore. They give their children bobo drink when they wake at night, when they stop breastfeeding. And I didn't get it. I'm like, seriously, because, you know, personally, I got to know that when a child stops breastfeeding, you replace it with water. So you replace with water, the child will wake up and cry, give water.
Yeah, I don't even give anything.
Dance, give water.
I don't give anything. So, I don't give anything. Once I breastfeed, once I win, it's for you to start sleeping through the night. If I'll be waking up to give you water, I can as well continue to breastfeed.
No, so this is what happened. Do you know what happened to me, Wumi? After I gave water for the first 3 days, my children stopped waking up. Like they just
most of them
does
would
not have any plans for us.
Most of them would. Most of them would.
Sleeping throughout the night, and this was 10 months, you know. So I started enjoying sleeping throughout the night from 10 months. Like, wow, so it's possible to sleep throughout the night. Okay. Someone is asking a question here and says, what can we add to breakfast, especially during school term when we need quick meals and end up resorting to cereal, which has so much sugar?
So much sugar.
So that. Thank you for that.
So these are some of the realities of this journey that, you know, one just has to walk around. One advice that I will give is that if it's possible, depending on your living condition, if it's possible, sometimes you can have some of these things pre-cooked or even cooked and stored in your fridge or freezer that you can quickly warm up in the morning, you know, and you can serve as breakfast or something, so that, you know, you don't have to now cook from scratch and end up, you know, losing time and things like that. So these are some of the things that one can inculcate, you know. So maybe you already have beans that is already cooked in the freezer, and you can just, you know, bring it up. No, I'm not saying you should give beans as breakfast. I'm just giving an example that, you know, you already have some.
Example. They don't like it.
Okay. Okay. So you have some. For maybe you have moi moi or something that is ready made.
Let me leave you.
But you get my drift. You get what I'm trying to say, that there are some easy fix meals that can be pre-cooked. Maybe spaghetti, for example, you know, it's easy to just, while you are bathing the children, you can put it up on fire, and maybe you already have stir fry, you know, somewhere. You have stir fry in your fridge already, and you can quickly make.
What, Wumi? My children will not eat anything for breakfast aside all the cereal, the bread.
Cereal.
You know. Yeah, they don't. I don't know. Even on Saturdays, they're not used to it. You know, like, no, it's too heavy. I don't know. Maybe I started it with them, and
right.
So it has to be cereal. It has to be bread. It has to be something sharp. Like when you bring food, they're looking like it's not lunch. So
lunch.
I don't know. Did I do something wrong?
Right. So also that also speaks to what they are used to, because my own children, like when I mentioned beans the other time, my children eat beans. In fact, they like beans the way it is any time of the day. breakfast, lunch, dinner, any time of the day. That's one food that you can give to them, and the both of them, they will eat it,
Wow.
you know, with joy on their own. You don't even need
Wow.
to feed them
The
beans.
children are anointed,
Beans. You know, so it's what it's how we also program these children sometimes. But then it's also not easy, you know. Early morning like that, there's a lot of rush and things like that. So if it is that you are giving cereal, for example, you can add banana to it. You can add banana, you can add apple, you can add a little bit of avocado. You are serving bread rather than, you know, putting maybe Nutella all of the time. You can mix avocado with fish, you know, avocado with Titus fish, just the way we mix butter with sardine. You can mix avocado, and it's very nutritious, actually. It's very nutritious, and then you put it as a spread over the food for them. You can add boiled eggs to some of these cereals, you know. Okay, so you can serve, for example, you can serve oats with tangerine or with oranges or something, you know, just to help them. And then you don't even have to sweeten with sugar. So there's this thing I do with dates. You can buy dates powder. You can use honey. You can use even brown sugar is healthier than. Okay, so this is another thing. Sometimes you may not necessarily be able to control certain things, but you can always go for the healthier alternative. So that is you using dates instead of sugar, but you are serving cereal. Or you know, honey in place of kinikon, you know, and all of that. But then again, let me not say what I want to say. It will sound somehow, but so that is it. I don't buy cereal.
So what I'm getting from what you're saying, Wumi, is that you actually start early, because my boys, for example, when you put honey inside tea, they're not gonna drink it. They're like, Mom, what's that smell? You know, so we don't do sugar at all. Like they don't even like sugar. So I didn't train them with sugar. So whenever they take beverage, it's just beverage and milk. That's it. When they take cornflakes, they say they don't want sugar. They just want it, you know. And they didn't know sugar until one day my brother.
So that is conditioning. That's, and it's most likely because you don't like sugar. So you see how this thing works. So it's conditioning. It's most likely because you don't like sugar. So I was following this conversation on Twitter yesterday. The woman was complaining that her son's nanny, refused giving him egg. So she asked her why, and then she said, and she was to that child's nanny, egg is luxury. But to the child's mother, what is egg? Me, I grew up eating egg every day. My children eat egg as snack. So you see, our own relationship with food and what we for example, nothing in this life can make me drink tea. Nothing in this life or the life to come can make me drink tea. I hate it with a godly passion. I hate it so much.
So you're right not from give your children.
Well, so I discovered that oh, because I ate this thing, I might deprive these children. So once in a while, I remember to give them tea. So you know, so this sugar thing that you're saying, imagine children taking cornflakes without sugar and they are okay with it. For the longest time, my children were not taking pap with anything. Okay, so somebody is even putting it here that she doesn't even put sugar in their food, be it pap. Exactly. Dates. This thing I was talking with dates. I did a post about it on Exceptional Moms. How you can use dates to sweeten children's food. Even apples. Apples can be made into puree that you will use to sweeten their cereal and things like that. And those things are just so fantastic, you know. And these days too, we have powdered dates that you can buy off the shelf in the supermarkets. But I still prefer the traditional method, and it's quite easy. Yes, it's quite easy to make. Just buy dates, soak the dates, wash them properly, soak it in water, put it in your fridge so that it doesn't ferment, and then you blend it. You know, put it in your what's this thing? The ice cube tray, freeze it up, and then transfer them into a Ziploc. Just be bringing it out one by one like that, and use it as sweetener for them. You know, so it is how we condition them right from time. And sometimes you just let them know that, okay, so in this family, this is what is acceptable, this is what is obtainable. And so it's not every time that is, oh, it's because I said so, your Lord and your master. No, sometimes we let them realize that, oh, okay, and communicate to them in age appropriate measure. So I play YouTube videos for my children that tell them, oh, we are the food patrol. So much sugar makes your body weak. This one, that one, carrots, greens, they are good for you, you know, and things like that. And they're like, oh, okay, you know, and then they watch things about going to the dentist because their teeth are bad from eating too much sugar. So that's can communicate to them. But for older children, you can make them understand that, oh, you know, for your body, we want to help you fight sicknesses and diseases, you know, and things like that. And they will get it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Because I think Demisala, I think she answered your question a little bit. Demisala was asking that how can we encourage children who are very picky eaters to eat without forcing them, or traumatizing them, and how can we increase variety?
To increase variety, we just have to keep giving variety. We just have to keep giving variety to increase variety. There are, you know, lots of foods there. And because of our own comfort zone too. The other day, my husband was saying that me, I like rice and plantain, that you don't know any other thing apart from rice and plantain. You know? and I really enjoy it. This evening when I was making dinner, I said, one of your best food, yam and egg sauce. I said, yam and egg sauce is one of the best foods in this life. You know, so because
that's for you.
Exactly. So because of our own, because this is our own comfort zone, we tend to just serve the things that we are comfortable with. So what I'm even consciously trying to do is to serve a wide range. I don't like mangoes like that. I don't really like it. But
listen, something that is sweet like that.
or pawpaw that is ripe, that is soft. Oh my goodness, I don't like it.
It's nice.
It has to be hard and crunchy. You get, but I'm trying my best not to deprive my children. So I serve a wide range of all of these things. And sometimes we don't even need to force them, because even you yourself, you know that if they give me this thing, I will not take it. I will not take it.
Yes,
I remember.
It's true. And with what you said now, I remember I don't like onions. Like, I don't like to see onions in food, but I cook. I cook with onions, but I cut them very big so I can remove them. And I remember that, do you know that when I was actually taking care of my first prince, I was removing onions the way I would remove for my food. I was very unconscious while feeding him. And I was always removing the onions. And guess what? He doesn't like onions. Now, his brothers, there was a time that my third prince showed me something very funny. We went out to eat and I was removing the onions. And immediately I finished feeding him, he collected the spoon from me and grabbed all the onions and ate them. That was when he brought me back to consciousness. I was like, babe, it's not your food now. Why are you clearing the onions? You know, so I can see what you say, like, you deprive a child from certain things, and before you know what's happening, they're not even interested in eating that thing. And you throw them off with variety, because variety has actually worked for me.
Yeah.
Because I see food that they've rejected in the past. They just come and say, Mom, it's not bad. I say, you are growing, welcome, no problem.
Yes. As they grow also, their preferences change. Their preferences change, especially if we continue to talk to them and we continue to encourage them. I remember there was a time that as a teenager, you know, teenagers and peer pressure, and I just gave up fizzy drinks. I wasn't taking them. Why? Because I didn't want to have diabetics. Because I was aware that, you know, a certain number of people had diabetics around me. Yes. Because I was aware. I had not even entered the university to study nursing or anything, but just, I beg, this thing that is flying about, I don't want to be a partaker. I don't want diabetes. You know, and I'm older now, I'm wiser now also. And you know, as a nurse too, because parents can be very hypocritical. You are giving a medication to the child. You say, take this thing now. Can you call the next thing? Why you beat the child? Me, I'll just say, Madam, that medication, have you tested it? He said, no, you have tested it. And then she go, and you are beating the child.
And you are forcing your child to take it.
And you are forcing the child. So it's the same with food too, even though it can be very irritating and very annoying. You know, the child is there. Oh, I will not eat this food. You know, and things like that. So in that case, we should encourage them, but hold our grounds firmly. you are not abusing your authority. You are not forcing them or traumatizing them, but you are just letting them know, eat this food. And when they have eaten a sizable amount of the food, let them be. You too, choose your battles. We have said it before, quality over quantity.
It doesn't have to be much. So when they say they are filled up, we don't have to force them to finish up their food.
We don't always have to. Sometimes you have to say, you must finish that food. You need to finish that food. Sometimes, yes, you need to put your foot down like that. But at other times, you will be able to judge. Sorry, bless you. You will be able to judge after assessing the situation. You know, you have analyzed it, and you will be able to judge.
I don't know if I'm forcing them or traumatizing them. So what I said, you say you're not finishing your food. I just tell you, no problem. You eat it for dinner. Go and cover it. And the person that said he was not interested finishes it. I'm like, wow. So you could finish it. Like, no, Mom, I don't want it for dinner. I don't want it for dinner. I say it's your choice. You eat it now or you eat it later.
Exactly. So this thing that you have said is very powerful.
That doesn't eat it. Sometimes I'm like, nah, this child doesn't.
So there are certain times that we need to take the back seat, but at the same vehicle. So this thing that you have said now is very important, because you have given them the choice. You see, children are also, they are human beings. They are just smaller versions of us. Nobody likes to be bossed around. Yes, nobody likes to be, you know, this is you that somebody is constantly taking decisions from. It could be frustrating. It could be frustrating. So sometimes you are the one calling the shot, but you are allowing them make the decision. So you say, instead of saying, what will you eat? And then don't ask open-ended question. You are asking a closed-ended question, giving them options and allowing them choose. And then they feel that they're in charge. So, will you eat yam or will you eat beans? And then, mommy, yam. So, oh, okay. Majority has it. So you know that you can only cook either yam or beans. Now they have chosen yam. So be it. We are all eating yam. So now you have said that don't tell me you don't have to finish your food, but you will eat it for dinner. And all of a sudden, the child is finishing the food. Who has won? It's actually mommy that won now. It's not the boy. It's mommy.
It's working.
It works. It works because the child is now in control. The child is now the one in control. You are not forcing. You are not bickering. You are not shouting or anything. It's just simple communication and understanding each other. You know, and that's also very important. It's a very important aspect of all that we are talking about tonight.
Wow. We've had an amazing time tonight sharing on eating healthy, and so give us the final words for parents that did not start with healthy food, or they are just used to giving their children junk and they're thinking, oh my goodness, what do I do? Where do I start from? What do you tell such parents?
Well, what I usually would say that whenever your day breaks, that's your morning. You know, there's no reason to feel bad or to, you know, beat yourself over it. You didn't have this information when you started, and you know, nobody starts out having everything figured out. So now that you know, make do, you know, with it, what it is that you know, and make the best use of it, be able to achieve, you know, your aim or the goal at the end of the day. So there's no point, you know, comparing yourself or feeling sad or, oh, have I damaged my children? You have not damaged them. Whenever you start, whenever you have the information, that's when you start the race, and you start wherever it is that you can start. And you are parent enough for your children, regardless of the mistake or the errors. We all make mistakes. You are parent enough for your children. You are the best fit for them, and nothing is going to take that away. So there's no point feeling bad or feeling guilty or whatever. Those children have been with you. Nothing has happened to them now. They are not dead. They are not sick. So there's something you are doing right too. But as we learn, we unlearn certain things. We learn some other things, and then we put those things to good use. So that's what I would say, really.
All right. Thank you so much, Wumi. So you can check out Wumi has some lovely videos on YouTube. I think it's Wumito Surgery, right? Or what?
Exceptional Mums.
Exceptional Mums. Okay, so Exceptional Mums on YouTube. You need to watch. And there's something she put recently about postpartum weight loss. You need to watch that video. You need to listen to what she has to say to mothers. And thank you so much for joining.
Please, can I say one last thing? It just occurred to me now. You know, I talked about picking your battles the other time, and I remember saying that I don't take tea for any reason. So I'm trying to say that we should be creative around our children's preferences and things like that. So I don't take tea. I don't like it for anything. But one thing my mother did was, when she was making tea for everybody, she would give me my own dry like that. So if it was 2 spoons of maybe Milo and 1 spoon or 2 spoons of milk for everybody that was adding water, she'll give me my own like that to say, go and do whatever you like with it. So I was eating my own raw like that. You know, I'll just eat it. I'll just mix it together and be eating it. And even though it became a very bad habit that followed me to
was a very nice mom, right? You know.
yeah.
For moms those days, it was good riddance. You're not eating milk.
No,
just stay away.
Rather than forcing me.
He loves milk a lot. Like my third prince loves milk. And one day I just shocked him. He just came to the kitchen. I just dished dry milk and put it in a cup. I was like, Mom. And I was like, yes, go and have it. Mom, you're the best ever.
This same thing is what I'm battling with my daughter now. She likes milk. So she wants, you know, just dry milk like that. And I'm like, this thing is becoming a generational problem. Because this was how I started. It became.
At times we also wanted to get to a stage where we give them something, and they see it anywhere. They just eye like nothing.
Exactly.
So there's a way we hold on to things, and they want it, they long for it. So I just rubbished the idea that day. Like, there's nothing to this thing. I can give it to you. And it was like, oh my goodness, you know.
We need to actually debunk that thing that, look, food is not luxury. It's the economic situation, you know, there's a lot of hardship and, you know, and things like that. That's why somebody will be denying a child egg. What is egg? You know, what is egg?
It's not $100 for one, right? You get
exactly. It's an abnormal situation, really.
We can half it, right? We can half
it. Half it, you know.
Getting something.
Exactly. And things like that. So it was creative.
Let's not bring managing to this children's life.
God will continue to provide for us, and He will also give us wisdom to just be creative around these things, because children can drive us up the wall sometimes, and you are just like, where do I even start from now with this one? How do I even manage, you know, this situation? But there's always grace and wisdom available, you know. So yeah, that's what I wanted to just chip in.
Okay, thank you. Take it easy on our children. Let us allow them watch fun and reduce television. It is possible. Yes, they don't have to watch television all the time. There are plenty of things to do. They can draw, they can write, they can do crossword puzzle, they can fix different things. Let them use more of their brain instead of just watching the television all through the holidays and having fun. Let them run outside. Let them play outside. They need to run. They need to play. They need that their energy. They need to burn it somewhere. So let us allow them burn their energy out. And